Shit.
We have a motion.
Is that a motion to serve for non-agenda items, public comments?
That is a motion.
Okay, thank you.
We have a second.
Give it Carol, then give it to her.
We have a motion by Commissioner Burrows, second by Commissioner DeCarlo. And we do have a card filled on this one for discussion. I think your last name's Mitchell. Apologize if I'm having trouble reading or writing.
Mr. Chairperson, that was correct. My name is Attorney Erin Mitchell. So my comment is based on the ordinance and what I've read from the AR number 3.09 and my understanding of Florida statutes and also the plain language of AR 309. This is also directed to Madam Attorney as well.
Now, you would only be able to address it to me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
No problem, Mr. Chairperson. So, in relation to the ordinance 2025, is it 004 and 005, I'll start with 004, which adds for a trespass component for public sidewalks and other public places. So my first issue would be that this is now creating a criminal aspect because Florida statute 810.09 makes trespass a misdemeanor, and that would also be in direct conflict with the plain language of AR 309 IXA, which states the board recognizes the importance of protecting the rights of all citizens to express their opinions on the operation of the county government and encouraging citizens' participation in the local government process. 2025-004 on its face would be a violation not only of AR 3.09 IXA, but it would also be a violation of the United States Constitution, First Amendment rights to free speech and free assembly. I would hope and suggest that if this is implemented, it is the trespass aspect is reconsidered because it essentially prevents what IXA is saying, which is that this county and this board recognizes the importance of protecting the rights of all citizens to express their opinions. Essentially, you are taking away the rights of them to express their opinions and then giving them a criminal history by then trespassing them and making them have to fight a misdemeanor. I would encourage anybody who would be subject to that trespass to hire a local attorney, of course, for the criminal aspect, but for a civil lawsuit, because I would imagine that this ordinance would not stand constitutional muster and would not pass if it was scrutinized in a court of law. I would hope that this board would at least reconsider the portion of 0004 that adds a trespass component on it as well. To address 0005, which says, which is amending section 2-19, citizen participation entitlement requirements to revise the requirements related to citizen participation in compliance with Florida government and the Sunshine Law and the First Amendment. Again, back to 004 on its face as it's written with the trespass aspect, I think it would be wholly in violation of Florida law, the U.S. Constitution, and AR 309 IXA on its face. Thank you. I give my time.
Okay. Sir, that's your second. Please take me a minute. When you trespass in, please. I've had enough of it. Taking public gun building and police trespassing. Okay. That was the only card I have filled out with the number for public comments. Back up here, commissioners. You want to sit down or you want to go out? Is your second? It's up to you. Okay.
Thank you so much. I just want to confirm with the clerk, are there any other speaker cards on this item? This is on our agenda today. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Anything further here? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Yes, Commissioner Cole, second.
I like it. Yes. First piece. That's
Okay.
Mr. Chair. I am 100% for the rules of decorum and civility of our meetings. I've been told, and I don't believe that they are in conflict with the First Amendment of the Constitution. And I'm 100% for that public comment needs to be directed towards items that we actually have control as this board. I'm not in favor of suspending public comment till November. I believe it's an important part of what we do, even though it has been misused in the past. I still believe that we should have public comment in our meeting. So that's about where I stand on it.
Very good. Anyone else? Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor, say aye. Aye. And Commissioner Burrows, I assume voted yes? You voted yes? Okay, all opposed, nay?
Nay.
The motion passes 4-1 with Goodman voting no. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, Ms. Deb, we want to move on with the airport apron.
Yes, sir. So Justin, is Christopher here? Okay, yes. Our airport director, sorry Chris, didn't see you there. Christopher Georges will be discussing the public transportation grant agreement for the airport apron rehabilitation project.
Good morning, Commissioners and everyone.
Morning.
I'm Chris George, the airport director. We have a resolution to sign the ETJ, which is the public transportation agreement with FDOT.
I'm sorry, can we not get him taken out of the building outside, please? Is there a problem? I'm sorry, go ahead.
The requested action is the Board of County Commissioners approve and authorize the chairman to execute the public transportation grant agreement between the Okeechobee County and the State of Florida Department of Transportation for financial project number 453-562-1-94-01 in the amount of $10,675 at the Okeechobee County Airport for apron rehabilitation, and adopt the resolution 2025-15 to authorize entering into a public transportation grant agreement between Okeechobee County and the State of Florida Department of Transportation for financial project number 453-562-1-94-01 in the amount of $10,675 at the Okeechobee County Airport.
Well, tell us a little bit about it.
Yes, sir. This is for our apron rehabilitation project we're excited about. This is the FDOT's portion. The FAA will also have a portion. We applied for it, I believe, last year, the year before, and they just sent us our grant agreement.
And Chair, just a little bit more information on this. We do have in out years, probably 3 or 4 years, where we are going to expand the apron, but there's some obstacle clearance areas right now that are an issue, specifically over by the paint shop. And there's certain area that you have to have for the airplanes to be able to maneuver properly without hitting other airplanes. And so that's what this is for. The total amount is from $213,500. FAA is paying $202,825, and then the state share is this one, and the state has already sent us the agreement for $10,675.
So this one's separate from our parking lot.
It is our parking lot. Excuse me. It's the apron. I'm thinking airplane parking lot, whatever you said. Yes, this is separate from the parking lot that is on for vehicle parking lot. Yes, sir.
Would you mind giving us an update on the parking lot expansion while you're there, please?
Yes, sir. It's come along great. They should be paving Friday. We're hoping to keep our fingers crossed, and it's gonna be great. Adding 90 new spots. So we have updates every couple weeks. And, yeah, they're coming along great. Still on course.
What's your time frame on this one?
The apron, it should start. It depends on when the FAA. We do this with the FAA, but as soon as that starts, they should be able to start the design of this.
We've already got preliminary designs done, so we've already done that. This is for the construction side of it, so preliminary design's done. Mr. Georges has talked with the design team, and there's a few revisions that we've come up with. So once all that's done and the FAA agreements, we know what's happening up in that area until they've allocated that funding to us. And once that's here, we'll be ready to go out for bid for construction. So it's pretty close to being ready.
Questions, comments?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
this is no matching grant from the county, is that correct?
Yes, sir. No matching from the county. That GOT is our match.
Did this, Christopher, include a relocation of the taxiway? Was this part of that? At one time we were talking about.
That's a project for the future. That will be the actual apron expansion. This is just to redo the current area, and the new one will connect to this new one eventually.
Okay, I knew that was part of it, was to move in the taxiway to give some more room for, an apron out there. I didn't know if this was tied in with that or not.
This will change the geometry of the entrances coming into the apron, so big airplanes can swing in there because they have to fly a couple of times.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's been an issue. All right, my main thing is I just wanted, for the record, make sure everybody knew this is no matching grant from the county. This is all return of tax dollars to our citizens through, fuel taxes and different kinds of things through the state and maybe some through the federal government. FAA, so that would be some through the federal government as well. But no local property tax dollars, things like that, is expended on this.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve. Second.
Transportation grant amendment for the airport apron rehabilitation project and adopt resolution 2025-15. Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Goodrich, second by Commissioner Sumner. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Davis, we're going to move on to talk about the budget.
Yes, we are. This is a pre-budget fiscal year 26 development discussion, and our Administrative Services Director, Lisa Ridley, will be making the presentation.
Good morning, Ms. Lisa.
Good morning. The presentation that you're about to review has been prepared by the Budget Office. Jessica Schooley, who is the Budget Manager, was responsible. So we're going to talk about a simplified view of the budget process. In January, February, and March, we start budget development, where we have meetings with the departments. In June and July, the workshops are open for public involvement. And then in September, we have the budget adoption.
Okay.
Fiscal year 2025 budget development economic conditions. So after 3 years above 5% growth, the annual personal income growth rate is projected to stabilize in fiscal year 25-26. In the first quarter of 2024, Florida's personal income growth was ranked 10th in the nation. Tourism is expected to see a strong period of growth over the current fiscal year, which ends in September of 2025, at 4.9% projected. The growth rate is projected to moderate for fiscal year 25-26 to 2.9%. The forecast for the fiscal year 25-26 ad valorem taxes. Ad valorem taxes, the county's taxable value is lower than the school board's taxable value due to the greater number of exemptions that are allowable to property owners. County taxable value on January 1st, 2024 came in at $3,221 billion. The new projection for the 2025 is $3,473 billion. This represents a year-over-year increase of $251 billion, or a 7.9% increase from fiscal year 2024. As of March 5th, 2025, the Revenue Estimating Conference for the state estimates a 7.79% increase in taxable value. The total value of non-exempt property of Okeechobee County for the year 2024 is $4,221.9 billion. The 2024 taxable value for operating purposes was $3.9 billion. So now we have potential legislative changes that will impact the budget. House Bill 7031 and 7033 are now in extended session. The House Bill 7031 decreases sales tax from 6% to 5.25%. House Bill 7033 is in extended session. It also deals with taxation. It revises provisions relating to taxation, including use and distribution of tax revenue, sales tax rate, tourism development taxes, surtaxes, and tax exemptions. Senate Bill 7034 has been withdrawn and postponed indefinitely. House Bill 1221 and Senate Bill 1664 have been withdrawn and postponed indefinitely. House Bill 703 and Senate Bill 818 have passed. This bill establishes the Utility Relocation Reimbursement Grant Program within the Department of Commerce, funded by redirecting $50 million annually from the state's communication services tax, which is normally distributed under the local government house and sales tax program. House Bill 301 and Senate Bill 1570 have been withdrawn and postponed indefinitely, and House Bill 771 and Senate Bill 432 have been withdrawn and postponed as well.
So, Ms. Lisa,
Yes.
from what you just told us, so how would we look into our crystal ball and decide how we're going to prepare a budget?
It's been very tenuous for staff. We've been looking at projections based on what the county has received historically for ad valorem tax revenue, and that's what we based our budget on.
So we should be prepared then if they were to cut sales tax or property tax or give a refund to the taxpayers, if the legislature and the governor's decision, we should be prepared to adjust our budget accordingly, I'm assuming.
Absolutely.
And Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I believe that the extension to the session ends on June 6th. So the good news is we will have the answer before our budget workshop.
I agree, but our staff is
Have to plan
putting
it
it together
until-
right now, not knowing the unknown.
And theoretically, June 6th is their last day, but I don't know if there's any provision at the state level to have a second extension or,
They can go to second.
so it's still a lot of guesswork.
Yes, sir. And that's what I was just wanting to clarify, that our staff's doing a superior job, but everybody's struggling to, you're throwing things against the home, see if it sticks. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, are we discussing this now, or is this you?
If you've got something to talk
I
to her
think
about,
there's
yeah, you
still
can do it,
some
she's got more.
I'll wait till,
Okay.
thank you.
So now we're going to talk about the fiscal year 25-26 budget development process in greater detail. The budget development includes a 3-year historical average, current year-to-date actuals, and year-end projections. Staff is constantly evaluating surpluses and deficits between revenues and expenditures, residual balances available versus modified budget allocations, and we're reconciling the balance brought forward. Grant funding is identified to reflect true county fiscal impacts, And then we review joint powers and interlocal agreements for budgetary impacts. Reserves are treated as fixed costs during the budget preparation process, and staff continues to review software licenses, subscriptions, maintenance, and cybersecurity services for potential cost increases. So as we continue, the fiscal year 24 audit is in progress. Revenues estimated from that audit by year to date are $99 million. Expenses are estimated at 85. Revenue estimated year to date surplus over expenses for the fiscal year 24 is $14 million. The current forecast for fiscal year 25, the revenue received year to date as of March is $55 million. Expenses as of March have been at $51 million. And then the total reserve balances, and remember this is pending the fiscal year 24 audit actuals. The total available balance is $43.4 million. Of that, restricted and committed is at $9.1 million, and unrestricted is at $34.3 million. So as we start to set our priorities for the fiscal year 25-26 budget, we look at pay adjustments. So COLA increase is based on the consumer price index for the first quarter of fiscal year 2025, which is at 2.6%. Pay for performance based on evaluation for employees is completed during the annual evaluation process conducted on the employee's anniversary date. Merit based on evaluation score is up to 2% for non-union employees. Fire rescue membership is at a 3% step. So we'd like to get some feedback from the board at this point in our presentation on what they would like staff to proceed with for potential pay increases for its employees.
Ms. Lacy,
Yes.
as one commissioner, everybody's going to have an opinion on what to do, but our staff is the most important thing we have in this county. That's what keeps everything going. And we all know, I mean, you see it right here where the cost of living is increased. So, and I know we've said budgets have to be flat, and I don't know we will cut out a new computer or a new tractor or whatever it may be that the county may have to put off for another year, but I, for one, support giving our people raises so they can, if we don't, we're gonna lose them. I mean, we know that we lose people to the counties on both sides all the time, so I think we have to support our people. That's my suggestion. I'm hoping you want to start off, Commissioner Sumner.
So you're thinking, just go ahead and do a 2.6 across the board, and then let each department work on merit-based part?
It would,
Above that,
evaluations.
Go with the 2.6 to cover COLA, and then let each managerial area determine whether or not that individual employee based on merit is worthy for up to 2% more.
I'm inclined to go, if we have one department getting 3%, I'm inclined to go straight across the board.
And being brand new here, I don't know the nuance difference between the union employees and the non-union employees, so I guess I have an opinion on that.
The only union we have is for the
Is for the fire.
That's been negotiated. That's the 3%, which 2.6 is very close, but that's my suggestion.
Well, now, my understanding is, here was my thought, 2.6 across the board for COLA, no matter. And then I thought that the non-union could get up to 2% based on merit, and the fire rescue could get 3% on step. And that those numbers would be over and above that 2.6% for COLA.
And there's like 3 outside.
So what is the 3% step?
The 3% is 3% every year. And then we got a step program to do what we can help. And basically it's a 3% raise.
So
Plus a merit.
but not 2.6 plus 3 plus merit. Okay. So just the union is 3 and COLA is 2.6. So your thought is take everybody on the COLA up 3%, and then that additional up to 2% for merit.
That's my, even if COLA is 3.2, I would say let's make everybody equal at 3, or go to 3.2. if we ever get
Okay, so the way this is graphed out, it seems like that 3 should be up there in a bullet point, not down there in a bullet point. That's why I was confused.
Well, the colon is 2.6 is where they get that from. Anything else, Commissioner?
I'd say at a minimum, I would say the 2.6% across the board, and then leave it up to each entity to determine the merit of their employees, because we certainly.
No, we never get involved in that. Let's start with something this deputy trickles down to the department heads. The chief, Justin, this is everybody does their own departments.
Well, I would say then, in my opinion, at a minimum, do the 2.6 for COLA. I'm sort of with you, if the fire guys are getting 3%, guys and gals, then maybe so should everybody. You're not talking about that much of a difference. So I would not be against your idea of 3% across the board, and plus the additional available up to 2% from there.
And at this point, we're making suggestions, is
Right.
to give them some guidance of what to try to put together, and don't bring it back to us.
And give us both numbers. Hey, if you do 2.6, it's this many dollars, and that way remember, if our revenues get cut at the state level, I mean, reality is reality. We're only gonna have so much to work with, so it would be probably good to see both 3% for everybody versus 2.6%.
So just for clarification, you would like to see a budgetary option that includes 2.6% for COLA and then up to a 2% merit increase for all staff. And then you'd like to see the potential budgetary impact of a 3% COLA and a 2% merit increase.
Yes, ma'am. That's what I would like.
Commissioner Goodwin.
Mr. Chairman, I concur with you on the 3% COLA and the 2% merit. You know, that's up to the direct supervisors of each department. And we have to bear in mind, not only are we competing for, you know, use the term labor or staff with other counties, but we also compete in the private sector. And anybody in business will tell you there's an expense to training somebody, to taking that person on his or her first day, and until 6 months later, when they're trained and ready to go. Mr. Nelson, he's been in business before. He's well aware of that. Probably smart. So I agree with you. Our people, employees, staff, our biggest backbone.
They shut it down first thing. They shut it down. Nobody appealed it.
And deliver the services that people expect and desire. So I would, that being said, I would be in agreement with 3% COLA and up to 2% merit-based increase. I know the union things are one of the deals that we negotiate.
That's not what it's
Separate, right? So I agree with you on the 3%. It's everybody can tell you everything's going up, from eggs to black bill to every other kind of thing. It's in our local households budget. So the least we can do is to keep up with the increase in inflation and their costs in their homes. I use that.
Commissioner Carter.
Well, I wish we could give everybody a 10% raise, but I think we're maybe a little premature on this because I don't think we really know where we're going to be. I know we depend on our ad valorem, but if property values drop a little, that can affect us. And being having a flat budget means already that everybody's going to have to watch what they come to us with. So I'm not against. I think we got to do the COLA at least because cost of living average is something we have to consider. Everybody knows things are going up. I just hope we can get the money to take care of everything without really strapping ourselves.
And Commissioner, this is a suggestion that, you know, all this may change, you know, with, this way. But right now, the question is what would you like to see with COLA, basically 2.6 or the 3 that make it straight across the board?
Well,
Keep in mind, that it may have to be adjusted.
yeah, I have no problem with the 3. I hope it's there and we can do it with no problems, but I am concerned about where we're gonna be when the time comes.
And not only this, but this gives guidance to our constitutional officers because they're gonna have to prepare a budget to bring in, you know, when they first thing.
Can't you say the word
They have to
constitution?
do the same thing we're gonna do, but, you know, that's certainly up to them. They manage their own budgets, but, you know, they will, I'm sure, give their employees raises also. And then turn back on something else. Ms. Dale?
Yes. So Lisa, correct me if I'm wrong, but for the BOCC departments, we loaded it with a 3% COLA, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and the departments through our meetings have been very good about bringing in flat budgets, and and that included the 3%. So we have been doing, all of your BOC departments and staff have been doing a really good job of keeping the budgets flat, knowing what the direction was from the board.
So this is something you think you'll be able to manage in and tighten up our bills some?
They're not doing public comment.
And after this meeting, of course, we'll be sending
It's on the agenda.
information,
They don't care.
communication to the
They're done.
constitutional.
The first thing they do is suspend public
whatever the
comment
board, you know,
till
directs
November.
as far
Well,
as
I'm gonna
the,
get pulling that
you know,
Clearwater
salary
too.
increases and
I'm gonna
just
get up
flat
and I'm like,
budgets
well,
as well.
I came here for, I filled out comment cards, the whole thing. We all did.
Health insurance for fully insured staff for the board and constitutional employees is anticipated to cost $2.4
You plan on going
million
up?
for fiscal year
As we get closer to
25-26.
the end of
The
it.
employee clinic is estimated with increases that include pass-through costs for medication and lab bills at $312,772. So let's be mindful that the employee clinic does help bring down the cost of our health insurance, because when employees go to the clinic versus going to the ER, that is looked at in our renewal premiums, and that does benefit us immensely. As we continue with the development, we're looking at property and casualty insurance over the next fiscal year to have a 15% increase for property, and this is gonna be due to increased property values. Casualty liability is going to have a 30% projected increase due to payroll increases and auto liability. Workers' compensation is anticipated to have a 20% increase due to payroll increases. The county's exposure has increased with new construction and property acquisition, the jail expansion at $13 million, the fire training tower at $577,000, the splash pad at $750,000, and the fitness trail at $175,000. So these new assets will increase our current insurance rates over the next fiscal year. We have a cyber liability premium of $31,000 annually, and we're anticipating that our health insurance rates will increase this fiscal year by 5.7%.
Question for Ms. Lisa.
Yes.
What kind of coverage we put on the walking trail? What do we have on the besides liability?
So it's property and liability. It's added to our
What do you
property
insure
schedule.
on the asphalt trail?
We insure the equipment that's there, we insure the truck, we insure fencing, anything that's been placed there as a valuable asset, we add it to our insurance for coverage.
And we have a truck assigned to that. Did you say truck?
No, I said fencing and the track itself.
Oh, track,
So,
I'm sorry, I
yes.
thought you said truck, I couldn't pick up when we had a truck on the track, even though we drive on it. If Justin couldn't go to so many buildings, this would go down. Thank you for
You're
that
welcome.
clarification.
As we continue with development, we look at capital projects and improvements. So what you're seeing now is fiscal year 25 capital work that's in progress. We have CIP doing an excellent job on working to facilitate the completion of these projects, but we anticipate some of them may be carried forward, which would be the jail phase 2, the medical examiner building, the HRS HVAC replacement, the HRS building and special needs generator, our Douglas Brown Community Center project, which includes improvements. This is a grant-funded project. And then we have improvements at the sports complex, and that is also grant-funded. Now we'll move through capital equipment replacement for fiscal year 25-26. The basics for replacing equipment falls in lines with our strategic plan objectives. Vehicle and light duty equipment is at 10 to 15 years, and then heavy equipment is at 20 years. So take a close look at what we have for large capital projects for the next fiscal year. Facilities maintenance is looking at a maintenance storage building at $30,000. The sports complex is looking at parking lot services, professional services at $30,000.
You know something, fuck you guys. You guys didn't let me speak. I filled out 2 fucking cards, and you guys didn't let me fucking speak. Fuck you, dingo Hazelief. Go fuck yourself.
Take him out trespassing,
Fuck
please.
you.
Take him off.
Every one of, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. There's not a speed that I have to go to, right? There's not, like, as long as I keep going.
Please take him on out of
And
the
go
building.
fuck yourself, you piece of fucking shit. You guys,
Take him out of the
I'm
building,
leaving,
please.
you
Please
stupid
take him out of
fuck.
the building.
Fuck you fucking piece of shit. You guys didn't even give people
Please
public
take
comment.
him out of the building.
I'm leaving, dude. What the fuck are you talking about, you fucking coward? You coward.
Close the door,
Coward.
please.
Where's my fucking records request? I paid $248 for a records request. Where is it at?
I apologize, Miss Lisa. It's so embarrassing we have people that have that kind of vulgarity in our meetings.
Okay. We are picking up, I believe I left off at the sports complex. With Road and Bridge, we have a project for a storage building estimated at $230,000. Fire rescue EMS project improvements for fire station number 4 at $300,000. Improvements for a fire training center at $100,000. And then solid waste has a storage building at $200,000 and cart storage at $150,000.
And Chair, if I could just comment on a couple of these items. If we go back up to the sports complex with the 5-acre swap, this is the land to put some, to look at a professional services design for the parking lot there. And then there'll also be some construction costs. So we're working on getting those construction costs. And with the solid waste, this is funded, this will not be taxpayer funding, this is funding that is already from some of the fees that we receive. So this is already in the budget, so, or already available, I shouldn't say it, but already available. It's not additional taxpayer cost. Thank you.
Capital equipment.
So we have new equipment considerations. We have miscellaneous park amenities for Parks and Rec at $5,000. Portable field lights for the soccer, football fields at $12,000. ADA compliant bleachers at $6,000. Facilities maintenance would like to purchase a SCAG turf mower, $31,000.
Question for you on the benches at Kiwanis. Is that a grant? Is Kiwanis helping us with that one? How are we doing that one?
So I'm going to allow Ms. Stevens to address that question.
Yes, that's part of the Land and Water Conservation Fund grant.
Thank you. It's just good for the public to know that we've got people helping us keep the taxes in.
Facilities maintenance is, the airport is looking to purchase a ground power unit at $20,000 and a tug at $20,000. They'd also like to make a request for a golf cart at $10,000. We have equipment maintained that's being replaced from the road department, a Caterpillar at $142,000. It's a compact track loader. And then we have a mini excavator for replacement, that's at $68,000. We have replacement of one Ford F-150 for code enforcement at $50,000. Fire control would like to purchase a Darley pump at $10,000. They are replacing a computer service for fire and EMS at $25,000. A brush truck at $250,000. staff vehicle for fire control and EMS at $60,000, a striker stretcher for EMS at $45,000, a stair chair at $6,500, a striker stretcher mount at $40,000, Lucas devices at $30,000, a new ambulance at $500,000, and life pack at $60,000. Any questions about the items that are
Yes,
listed?
ma'am. And Chief, you may have to help me with this one. Now, last year, we had some misfigures and we wound up but not being able to purchase a lot of equipment with our current assessment. With these purchases, how are you looking on your assessment? Are we able to cover all these with the increase that's projected?
So last year we had the cuts on the fire side, we kind of absorbed those, and we just kind of continued on with the 5-year plan that we already have in play. We're gonna kind of try to do our best to get caught up when we can on those items that we didn't purchase last year.
So we're just set back a year, but we're moving ahead now.
Yes, sir.
So some of these items are the ones that were due to be replaced last year and we had to hold off.
Not exactly, we had an engine in there, but we decided not to put in another engine until we get time for it. It's just a brush truck, sir.
Ambulance is 500. So we're 2 years without an engine and without a replacement.
Yes, sir.
So we're that much in the red.
We're a little bit further behind, but the engine that we were waiting on, we just got it as well, so I think we'll be okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. Okay, Ms. Easton.
So personnel requests are from public safety in the form of an emergency 911 coordinator, which will be replacing our contracted service provider. And then they'd like to add a bureau chief of administration. Of course, this is based on funding availability. We have an IT request for the Know Before training program. This is a cyber security awareness training to protect staff from cyber attacks. And we're looking at that as a $37,000 3-year subscription-based product. So it's gonna include training for staff to make sure that we don't click on those erroneous attachments that may put some malware on our devices.
Will that help the commissioner same way?
Yes. As we set our priorities for revenue for the fiscal year 25-26, our current millage rate is at 7.9%. The ad valorem tax revenue that's generated from 7.9%, we don't have the figures for the current taxable value to give that projection yet. So the revenue that we're estimating for budgetary inclusion for our administrator to make decisions is based on last year's taxable value. Our garbage assessments, we're expecting a 4.58% CPI increase, which will take the value up to $392.52. Fire protection, per the Stantec study, is projected at a 6% increase, which will bring that value up to $143.34. And then EMS, per the Stantec study, is projected at 6%, which will be $179.11. So this will help the chief to be able to purchase some of that equipment that he's looking at. Scheduling for the fiscal year 25-26 budget. The county department budgets requests were due in late March. The constitutional's budgets are due in June, on June 1st per Florida statute. The budget workshops will take place from July 15th through the 17th. We've also set July 18th for further discussion and deliberation if required. The board will set its tentative millage rate at the July 24th meeting. And then we will have public hearings for the tentative millage on September 11th and the final millage on September 25th. This is where we'll do our trim budget adoption as well.
So we're gonna hold the 25th for overrun, then we might say we'll either set the village on the 24th or the 25th, whichever's.
So are you talking about the July workshops? Let me back up.
Yes, ma'am, you said the July workshops.
So the July workshops are July 15th through the 17th, and then on the 18th will be for further discussion if required. At the 24th meeting is where you will set your tentative millage rate. That's the millage that will provide to the property appraiser.
Okay, so.
So at this point, we like to take into consideration, anything that the board would like to see move forward in the budgetary process, any redactions that you'd like to see, or any suggestions.
Ms. Deb, you want to start us off? What you're thinking, and the commissioners can all.
Yeah, so, of course, what's presented here is staff, the Board of County Commissioners departments have already met with Lisa and myself and gone over their budgets. So what is being presented here is what got approved at our level and is being brought here for your all's consideration. So I support what is in here. And of course, we will continue to make those adjustments as anything changes with revenues or anything else. Lisa and I did attend the 4-county where they have what's called our public safety funds, which is Fund 103, and that's your court, your 19th Circuit Court, your medical examiner, the guardian ad litem, and their public defender. There were some increases there, but we're still working with them on that. And but what we have so far, I feel comfortable with. So.
Any thoughts, Commissioner Carlin?
I'm not the one doing the study, and if you guys are comfortable with it, I'm going to support it.
Commissioner Goodberry? Commissioner Sumner?
I mean, they put the work in, we just won't know the answer until Tallahassee gets finished up with what they're doing, and that's what frankly our workshop's for. So I'd say bring it as you got it, and keep the pencils as sharp as possible. And keep in mind that we would like to look at that 3% increase. So as you're seeing, if you're seeing any shortfalls anywhere, maybe preemptively look and see what might not need to be done. That's I'm still not sure about insuring asphalt. I don't understand how that works.
Thank you, Ms. Lisa, and all of our staff for putting this together. And we know this is an outline, and it may all be modified when it comes to time. I mean, but it's great to have this to work with. We appreciate it so much, and I think it's very well receptive by all of our commissioners here.
And sir, we have been refining our budget as we've been, over the years. And so when you get the proposal in July for our workshop meetings, we have each line that has a justification under it. And so we have we're pretty thin, or right on point. I'm trying to think what word I want to use whenever it comes to the budgets, because there's not a whole lot of excess in there by any means. And we have our personnel costs and personnel and benefits, and those are very specific as to the inputs that we put in there. So there's not a lot of extra by any means there. Then you have your operational costs, and a lot of that, for most departments, is IT related with software and equipment and maintenance that we have on the software programs, and very little of other items there. And then we have our capital, and so we've been, and what you have and see before here is the new capital request. So.
The county administrator does an excellent job of being a good steward of taxpayer dollars. So there is nothing in the budget that's unnecessary.
So when we're giving raises, we need to give her one also. I concur. All right. Thank you so much. Great presentation.
Thank you. I think I'm with the next item, so
Oh, we may be taking a break.
Oh, okay.
Chair, right.
Would you mind doing that one at a time? If you need to go right now, I'm still hesitant about taking a break at this point. Is it okay?